President John Dramani Mahama has emphasized critical need for media regulation in the era of social media during a recent presidential media encounter. He said the world is moving from traditional media to new media platforms like TikTok, Facebook, and X, highlighting the transformative shift in information dissemination. The president warned about the potential dangers of unregulated digital communication, noting that anybody with a phone and a camera can now report news or comment on national issues. He stressed the importance of holding these new content creators accountable to prevent potential social conflict. He said if government don't regulate that sector, it can lead this nation to war, pointing to specific instances where inflammatory social media content has fueled tension, such as in the Boko situation and Gonja conflict. While acknowledged the removal of criminal libel laws, President underscored the legal mechanisms still existing to address harmful content, particularly hate speech and incitement to violence on digital platforms. The call for responsible digital communication comes as a critical intervention to maintain social harmony and prevent the misuse of communication technologies.
The last time the GJA came to me, I mentioned to them that as the world changes and new technologies come, we're moving from not having just the traditional media into having what we call the new media. These are all the new social media instruments like TikTok, like Facebook, like X, and all of them. And so the traditional sense of journalists like you, most of you trained and working in media houses that have a corporate identity and can be held responsible for the information that you put out, is beginning to change. We have a new crop of I'll call them neo-journalists, who anybody with a phone and a camera can report news or comment on national issues. Now the point is, who holds those people responsible? And that's what he's saying. If you go to some of the WhatsApp platforms, or you go to some of the commentaries in the TikToks and others, we have what we call hate speech, incitement to violence. Those are criminal. Despite the fact that we have removed the criminal libel laws, there are some laws that make such people accountable. Because if we don't regulate that sector, it can lead this nation to war. There are some of the incendiary statements that have been made in the Boko situation that are fueling some of what is happening there, making people hate each other and see each other as enemies. It's been the same in the Gonja Brefo thing. Some people fanning and inciting violence against each other.
In a strong statement addressing digital media challenges, President Mahama unveiled plans to combat online hate speech and misinformation through technological tracking and legal enforcement. He said the National Signal Bureau will now use advanced IP tracking technology to identify and prosecute individuals spreading harmful content online.
This falls in the ambit of the National Signals Bureau. And so the National Signals Bureau now has the technology to use your IP number and find you wherever you are. So I'm sending a signal to Ghanaians that we can find you those doing those hate speech and things. We'll use your IP number, we'll trace you. And when we trace you, we'll deal with you under the criminal code for inciting violence and disturbance of the peace. But I believe that beyond that, we must start making regulation for this new media because it's unregulated. And so anybody just takes a phone and says, oh, this plane crash, I wish that so and so had been the one in the helicopter and had died, and dwarfs have eaten him in the forest. I mean, why would you say something like that? And so we need regulation for that new emerging media. But in the meantime, the National Signals Bureau has been given the full authority to track down people who do that kind of thing and bring them to be sanctioned under the criminal code.